Listen up. You can read all the books, watch every video, and tell yourself you love who you are 1,000 times over. But without understanding this one crucial thing, the love you seek will always be elusive. Today, I'm not here to give you theory. I'm here to provide you with the key, a truth Carl Jung discovered that will change how you relate to yourself and others forever. Ready to uncover it? If you're watching this, something inside you already knows there's more. This isn't just about accepting your shadow or balancing energies. It's about applying those concepts in a way that transforms your life. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why you've struggled to feel loved, but you'll also gain a clear practical strategy to revolutionize your relationship with yourself and consequently with others. This is about action. Your relationships aren't random. What attracts or repels you in others reflects unresolved issues within you. Consider the last person who stirred strong emotions in you, whether love or frustration. That person is more than a fleeting presence. They're a mirror, revealing what's buried within you. Maybe you're drawn to people who make you feel insecure, or you're frustrated by traits you reject in yourself. Today, you'll learn to use that mirror to uncover parts of yourself crying out for attention and healing. Until then, you'll keep searching for love in the wrong places. The real question isn't about their behavior. It's about what they're showing you about yourself. This concept, the relational mirror, is deeper than it seems. When someone triggers a strong emotional reaction, you're seeing a projection of your own shadow. Look at your relationship patterns. Are you repeatedly drawn to people with similar traits or avoiding certain types? Both reactions reveal something crucial about your inner world. Attraction and repulsion are two sides of the same coin, indicating something important within you. When drawn to someone, ask yourself what qualities you admire. Could it be these are traits you haven't fully developed in yourself? Maybe you admire someone's freedom and spontaneity because your own life feels too controlled. Similarly, when someone irritates you, ask what bothers you about them. Could it be you possess the same trait but have denied or repressed it? Perhaps when others' arrogance bothers you, it's because you secretly struggle with your own superiority complex, one you're reluctant to admit. Achieving this kind of self-awareness can be transformative, but it demands brutal honesty. You must be willing to confront parts of yourself that you've hidden, even from yourself. Recognizing these aspects is where true healing begins. The most challenging relationships in your life often serve as your greatest teachers. Those people who constantly irritate you might be highlighting parts of yourself that need attention. It's no coincidence that certain people enter your life. They are karmic messengers guiding you towards self-integration. Remember, just as others reflect parts of you, you also mirror them. Once you understand this, you'll develop both compassion and responsibility in your interactions. You'll realize that when someone reacts negatively toward you, they're responding to the reflection of themselves they see in you, not necessarily to you. Instead of reacting defensively, you can respond with understanding. This work isn't just about identifying patterns, it's about transforming them. Once you recognize what part of yourself is reflected in a difficult relationship, you can begin to heal it. As you consciously integrate these rejected or underdeveloped aspects, your relationships will naturally and effortlessly change. This process of integration doesn't happen overnight, so don't expect immediate results. Observe your emotional reactions like a scientist studying a fascinating subject, without judgment, only with genuine curiosity. Over time, you'll notice that those who once triggered intense reactions will no longer have the same power over your emotions. Healthier, more balanced relationships will start to appear. Instead of attracting people who reflect your wounds, you'll attract those who reflect the healed, whole version of yourself. You will no longer seek in others what you lack within yourself, creating connections based on shared wholeness rather than emotional dependency. True love is only possible after this journey of self-discovery. When you love from a place of wholeness rather than lack, your relationships become spaces for mutual growth rather than sources of emotional neediness. You no longer need someone else to fill your emptiness. You are complete within yourself. Here's the ultimate truth. The part of yourself you reject is the same part sabotaging your relationships. You cannot fully love if you do not accept all of who you are. Consider the things you dislike about yourself, the things you try to hide. That is your shadow. And until you integrate it, you'll continue projecting your insecurities onto others. For instance, if arrogance in others bothers you, it might be because a part of you fears being seen as arrogant. Or if you're drawn to people who make you feel small, it's because, deep down, part of you feels inadequate. Here, you'll learn how to integrate your shadow, not to become perfect, but to become whole. Only by accepting all aspects of yourself can you love and be loved authentically. Your shadow isn't just your negative traits. It also includes your unrecognized gifts and talents. Rejecting parts of yourself fragments your being, creating a barrier that blocks the deep connection you desire. But when you embrace all of who you are, you stop seeking love externally. You become love, making true connection inevitable. This fragmentation leads you to seek in others what you can't accept in yourself. Each time you harshly judge someone, you're facing a mirror. The quality that irritates you in another reflects something within you that remains unacknowledged. Pay attention to your intense reactions. They hold valuable clues about yourself. Perhaps you despise vulnerability in others because you fear your own fragility, or criticize ambition because you haven't recognized your own desires for success and recognition. Your shadow also shows in your romantic attractions. We are drawn to those who express what we repress. If you're irresistibly attracted to dominant personalities, ask yourself if there's a part of you that longs to express more power and authority. If you seek partners who need rescuing, you might be projecting your own need for care and attention. Relationship sabotage happens subtly but persistently. You might fear abandonment, pushing people away before they can leave you, or fear being controlled, resisting even reasonable suggestions from your partner. These patterns aren't random. They're defense mechanisms of your unintegrated shadow. Integrating your shadow requires courage. The first step is to see it without self-judgment. When you feel intense aversion to something in another person, ask where it exists within you. This isn't about blame, but deeper self-understanding. Integration also involves expressing repressed aspects of yourself in safe environments. If you've suppressed creativity, find spaces to express it freely. If you've denied your need for connection, allow yourself to be vulnerable with trusted people. Over time, these rejected parts will transform from hidden saboteurs into sources of strength. A powerful exercise is writing a letter to your shadow, acknowledging its presence, expressing gratitude for its protective attempts, and sharing your intention to compassionately integrate it. This internal dialogue can spark profound self-reconciliation. The beautiful paradox is that by accepting your darkest aspects, you become more radiant. Embracing your imperfections makes you more authentic, and this authenticity opens the door to genuine connections. The deepest and most fulfilling relationships emerge when two people present themselves whole, with both light and shadow integrated. You no longer need a partner to complete you. You come as a complete being. You stop projecting fears and insecurities onto others because you've embraced them as part of yourself. Relationships aren't just about feeling good. They are about growth. Every conflict, action, and disappointment is an opportunity for self-understanding. In this session, you'll learn to see love not as an end, but as a journey of self-discovery. Until you grasp this, you'll repeat the same mistakes. For example, if you always end up in relationships where you feel abandoned, it highlights an abandonment wound you need to heal. If you constantly seek security in others, it shows a part of you doesn't feel safe. Here, you'll discover how to use love as a growth tool, not a frustrating goal. Viewing love solely as a source of pleasure and comfort diminishes its transformative power. Relationships are life's most intense classroom, the clearest mirror of our inner world. Every person entering your life brings a specific lesson, and until you learn it, the pattern repeats. Faces may change, but the essence remains. Relational patterns aren't accidental. Examining your romantic history reveals recurring themes connecting seemingly different experiences. Perhaps you end up with emotionally distant people or attract those needing rescue. These patterns invite self-reflection, signaling internal wounds needing acknowledgement. Attachment theory teaches us our earliest bond-shaped patterns repeating in adulthood. If, as a child, you learned love is inconsistent, you'll unconsciously seek inconsistency in adult relationships because it feels familiar, even if painful. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to transforming them. The true purpose of romantic love isn't to make you happy, though happiness can be a beautiful side effect. Its purpose is to reveal aspects of yourself that would otherwise remain hidden. It's in intimacy that your deepest fears, defense mechanisms, and unexpressed desires come to light. Love isn't just about finding the right person. It's about becoming someone who can love deeply, fearlessly, and consciously. When conflict arises in your relationship, the crucial question isn't about who's right, but rather, what is this situation teaching you about yourself? Maybe your irritation over a simple comment reveals a deep-seated insecurity. Perhaps your need for control hides a deep fear of abandonment. These insights, though often uncomfortable, are treasures for personal growth. Attractions also serve as powerful teachers, drawing you toward aspects of yourself not yet fully embraced. Admiring someone's sense of freedom might mean you long for more freedom in your life. Being captivated by another's creativity could indicate an artist within you waiting to emerge. Your strongest attractions aren't random. They guide you toward your unrealized potential. Heartbreak, while painful, offers an extraordinary chance for growth. When a relationship ends, You can either blame the other person and repeat the same patterns, or turn inward and ask, what can I learn from this? This choice determines whether you become bitter or wiser. Mature love doesn't seek perfection in a partner. It seeks mutual growth. A relationship rooted in this mindset focuses on shared evolution. In such relationships, every challenge is an opportunity to expand, break limitations, and heal together. Paradoxically, embracing love as a tool for growth leads to deeper and more sustainable happiness. You no longer depend on perfect circumstances or an ideal partner to feel fulfilled. Instead, you find satisfaction in evolving and understanding yourself more intimately through the mirror your partner provides. The shift begins when you stop saying, I always end up with the same kind of partner, and start asking, why do I keep choosing this kind of partner? This change in perspective restores your power, making you the conscious creator of your relational experiences. Embracing love as a path to self-growth takes courage. You must confront uncomfortable truths, question ingrained beliefs, and let go of identities that no longer serve you. But the reward is immense. More authentic relationships, deeper self-awareness, and the ability to love from a place of freedom rather than need. Why do you always find yourself in the same kinds of relationships? The answer lies in your subconscious. The patterns you repeat aren't mere coincidences. They signal that something within you needs healing. For example, if you're consistently drawn to people who cause you pain, it likely indicates an unresolved emotional wound seeking attention. If you constantly seek validation from partners, it may be because part of you feels unworthy or unseen. Today, you'll learn how to identify these patterns and break the cycle to create healthier, more conscious connections. Until you do, you'll continue attracting relationships that leave you unfulfilled. Toxic relationship patterns are like invisible cycles that repeat with mathematical precision. You may change partners, but the underlying dynamic stays the same. This isn't a curse or bad luck, but the result of deeply rooted subconscious programming, influencing your choices without you realizing it. These patterns often form in childhood when you first learned what love meant and how relationships worked. If you grew up where love was conditional on performance, you may now constantly seek approval in adult relationships. If past affection came with criticism, you might feel comfortable in relationships with conflict. The phrase, "what is familiar feels safe," explains why we unconsciously repeat unhealthy patterns. Your brain seeks the known, even if it's painful. This is why many leave one toxic relationship only to find another similar one. The first step in breaking these patterns is developing self-awareness. Observe your relationship history, like a movie. What themes repeat? Do you always feel abandoned? Are you drawn to emotionally unavailable people? Do you lose your sense of identity in relationships? These repetitions aren't coincidences. They're clues pointing to specific emotional wounds. Behind every toxic pattern lies a limiting belief. If you constantly attract betrayal deep down, you might believe you don't deserve loyalty. If you feel controlled, you may believe you can't direct your own life. These beliefs act like magnets, drawing experiences that confirm them. Neuroscience shows these patterns are neurological as well as psychological. Through repetition, you've created strong neural connections. Breaking these requires constant awareness and deliberately creating new experiences that contradict your habitual patterns. A powerful exercise is identifying your emotional triggers, those specific situations that elicit disproportionate reactions. A simple delay from your partner might trigger an intense fear of abandonment, or a casual comment about your appearance could spark deep insecurity. These triggers reveal your core wounds. Healing starts when you take responsibility for your patterns. This isn't about blaming yourself, but acknowledging your role in creating and maintaining these cycles. As long as you see yourself as a victim of circumstances or others, you'll stay trapped in repetition. Change happens only when you take responsibility. Breaking patterns involves reconnecting with your body. Relational addictions are like other addictions, with somatic signals preceding compulsive behaviors. Learn to recognize how attraction to toxicity feels in your body: intense excitement, a false sense of security, comforting familiarity. This awareness lets you choose consciously instead of reacting automatically. A key step is setting clear boundaries with others and yourself. If you tend to lose your identity in relationships, create rituals to maintain your connection with yourself. If you're drawn to people with narcissistic traits, clearly define behaviors you won't tolerate. Boundaries are acts of self-love that interrupt self-sabotage patterns. Real transformation comes when you choose the new, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. If you're used to drama and intensity, a calm and stable relationship might initially seem boring. This discomfort is normal. You're creating new neural circuits and new ways of experiencing connection. Remember, breaking patterns is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. There will be moments of regression, temptations to return to what's familiar. Each time you recognize the pattern and choose differently, you strengthen your new path. Neuroplasticity supports you. With each new choice, you literally rewire your brain. The ultimate goal isn't relational perfection, but the awareness that lets you choose freely, no longer at the mercy of unconscious programming. You can create relationships that reflect who you are now, not the wounds of your past. You can love not from lack or compulsion, but from wholeness and freedom. Authentic love isn't something you find, it's something you create. When you love yourself unconditionally, love stops being something you seek and becomes something you are. This shift changes everything, because until you grasp this, you'll keep searching outside for what can only be found within. Love isn't something you give or receive, it's something you are. When you live from that place, your relationships stop causing suffering and become an expression of who you are. Love isn't a destination, it's a journey. We've been taught that love is an external force that finds us if we're lucky. This romantic narrative, though beautiful, puts us in a passive and dependent position. We wait to be chosen, seen, and loved. But this view distorts the true nature of love. Genuine love springs from within, not as something to extract from others. Relying on external sources for love creates a pattern of perpetual lack, like a vessel with holes you can't fill. Love from outside is temporary, conditional, and limited by another person's capacity. The shift happens when you realize you are the primary source of your love experience. You don't need permission to love yourself, nor qualifications or credentials. Self-love isn't a reward for being enough. It's your birthright, your natural state. Removing self-imposed barriers makes unconditional self-love revolutionary. In a world that values you based on productivity, appearance, or achievements, it means honoring yourself in failure as much as in success, speaking to yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a dear friend, and recognizing your intrinsic worth, independent of external validation. As you nurture this love for yourself, your external relationships transform. You no longer approach others from a place of need or emptiness, but from wholeness. You no longer seek in others what you lack, but offer what you have in abundance. The irony is that when you stop desperately needing love, you become more capable of experiencing it deeply. Your relationships become spaces for growth, not completion. You share the happiness you've cultivated, rather than seeking someone to make you happy. You don't expect another to heal your wounds, but you may grow alongside them. You celebrate the value they see in you without depending on it. This shift transforms the nature of your attractions. Operating from lack draws those who mirror your unhealed wounds. Operating from wholeness attracts those who reflect your integrity and resonate with your self-love. It's the difference between attraction based on addiction and attraction based on affinity. Self-love isn't narcissism. It's the opposite. Narcissism stems from deep insecurity and a need for constant validation. Authentic self-love comes from recognizing and honoring your complete humanity, allowing you to see others with greater clarity and compassion without projecting unmet needs onto them. Practicing conscious self-compassion can be transformative. When difficult emotions like fear, sadness, anger, or shame arise, don't judge or suppress them. Embrace them as part of your humanity, not as flaws to eliminate. This radical acceptance changes how you relate to your internal experiences and, by extension, everything external. Love is not a destination, but a daily practice. Some days, loving yourself will be harder as old voices of self-criticism resurface. Don't be discouraged. Each moment of awareness is an opportunity to choose love again. Every time you reconnect with yourself after feeling disconnected, you strengthen your capacity for authentic love. The greatest paradox is that when you stop seeking love as something missing, you realize it's always been there, like a fish swimming in the ocean looking for water. You've been immersed in love all along. Your task isn't to find it, but to recognize, allow, and express it. First toward yourself, then naturally toward everything around you. This is the secret shared by mystics and sages through the ages. Love isn't something you do, it's something you are. When you live from this truth, every relationship, encounter, and moment becomes an expression of the loving essence that is your deepest nature. Love isn't a reward for being enough. It arises when you fully accept yourself, with both light and shadow. No one will love you as deeply as you can love yourself. That's the key. When you understand this, love stops being a search and becomes an expression of who you are. If this message resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you want to keep exploring how to transform your life from within, subscribe and activate the notification bell. Remember, love isn't something you find. It's something you build. And that journey begins today. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.